Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. It's week 3 in college football. Today is Thursday, September 14th. We are talking with Joe Gavazzi from JoeGavazziSports.com. Right now, we're going to take a look at Central Michigan and Syracuse. And this is an interesting handicapping situation here, Joe Gavazzi, because Syracuse, of course, in Dino Babers' second year, expected to make a big jump forward, as we often see with Dino Babers teams in their second years. Syracuse also has a very experienced team this year. They return a lot of playing time and production. So it was expected to be maybe a bit of an up year by some people for Syracuse. They did lose against a tough Middle Tennessee State team in last week, and that was a play that a lot of sharp guys were on Middle Tennessee. I know that one. And then in week 1, they blew out their FCS opponent. So not exactly sure what to make of Syracuse here. And Central Michigan is a little bit of an uncertainty as well. Central Michigan had a great game against Kansas on the road last week and beat them by a margin as a small road underdog. But in week 1, they struggled against Rhode Island, and they had to go to overtime to get the win there as a 35-point favorite. So which there was the real Central Michigan. Syracuse also has LSU on deck next week, but my sense is that Syracuse might be in a good spot for a bounce back here. It is a little bit of a high line considering how Syracuse looked offensively last week, but I'm thinking maybe we look for Syracuse to get a double-digit win here. Maybe Syracuse has some value at -10. What do you think, Joe?
I'm on the other side of this one, Peter. Anybody who tuned in for our videos last week know that I called it a perception reality game where the line maker thought Syracuse was far more valuable than they really are. Well, that proved to be the case as we called the upset with Middle Tennessee State because their defensive coordinator, Scott Schaefer, is the former head coach at Syracuse. He wound up holding the Orange offense to 307 points. Now it's the Syracuse defense which takes center stage. And I believe that Syracuse defense in no way deserves to be a 10-point favorite. They are still shaky at best, despite the returning experience. Central Michigan, meanwhile, is the real deal under third-year head coach Bonamigo. Usually teams do their best work in the third year under a coach. And for Central Michigan, that even proved last year when this was a team that went to Oklahoma State and pulled the upset 30-27. They'll be primed to do so again. This is a team that's on the rise with a Michigan transfer at quarterback in Morris, who has a 6-to-1 ratio, and a running back in Ward that's averaging over 200 yards a game and nearly 7 yards per rush. They will do business against that Syracuse defense. I'm going to give you Central Michigan behind one of the top 20 returning experienced offensive lines to again pulled a shocking upset in the Carrier Dome this week. Central Michigan plus the 10 in the perception reality game of the week.
All right, so you sort of throw out a little bit Central Michigan struggles in week 1 against Rhode Island, and I guess you think that that your pick on Middle Tennessee last week was as much a fade of Syracuse as it was a bet on Middle Tennessee. You think Syracuse might be a little bit overvalued going forward?
That's exactly right, and please let's throw out that game 1 against Central Con State, a glorified high school team who has 45 scholarship players.
Ouch. Harsh indictment of Central Connecticut from Joe Gavazzi. Great breakdown. Joe Gavazzi liking Central Michigan right now getting 10 points, a slight move in their favor. They were about 11.5 earlier in the week. 10 is still available, and 10 -105 is the best line right now at BetOnline, sportsbetting.ag. Joe Gavazzi, thanks for the breakdown. Tell us what you do at your website, JoeGavazziSports.com.
Thanks for the referral there, Pete. And we are at JoeGavazziSports.com. And before you make a move this week, I want you to read my money management article. If you haven't gone through and read that, if you're having any trouble chasing when you're behind or not knowing when to push it forward in a winning streak, that'll answer all your questions. And believe me, it'll save you more money as well as winning you money. Money management article, a must to read at JoeGavazziSports.com.
Well, this episode of The Odds Couple is over. But if you give us a like and click SBR's logo at the bottom of the screen to subscribe, then you'll get all the upcoming videos as soon as they come out. And don't forget to take advantage of our website. There's free picks, live betting lines, and sportsbook reviews and ratings guides, and a whole lot more. Check it out now.